at the O2. So much live sport across the network, including our new improved app. So we're back underway. Leeds 1-up, approaching the half hour. Tanaka, the goal scorer, just lays the ball off down the right-hand side for Bogle. McGuane's waiting to come back on, so a temporary advantage for Leeds, and Bogle tries to get down the right side of the area. Great challenge from George Earthy. He thinks that's a goal kick, but the assistant on this near side has given a corner to Leeds United, their first of the evening from where the Norman Hunter meets the main stand that we're sat in. 1-0 Leeds.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a case there, George Earthy. Just a little nick right at the very end of it, but give him a lot of credit there. Stuck with his marker, kept his eyes on him, got that little ditch challenge in at the end. That's what they need to do, these wide players for Bristol. They've got to work ever so hard.
Corner kick from Gruff, sent into the near post, punched away, out to Solomon, edge of the area, drives it goalwards, and Dickey just had to throw his head at it and try and deflect it away from goal, which he did, and has conceded another corner for Leeds United. 1-0, they still lead.
See, look, Solomon, how can he have that much space at the edge of the area? That's really worrying. You know, you've got to break your neck and get out there and make it really difficult for him to get his shot in. Brilliant defending from Rob Dickey, but he shouldn't have to do that.
So Solomon with another corner on the far side of the field, right-footed in swinger at pace into the near post, comfortably headed clear by Wells, but there's nobody in a black Bristol City shirt to pick up the loose ball, and it's back with Carl Darlow. Shoot is that he's not being booed, I should make that quite clear. I think the Leeds fans are jokingly saying have a go for goal from where you are, midway point of his own half. You scored yesterday, didn't you, in your charity game?
I don't like to mention it, Dan, but you know.
It was a rasper, fully 15 yards out.
I tell you what, I'm feeling it today.
I saw it when you walked in. Poor lad. I'm surprised he's not doing this commentary from an iron lung. Leeds United win the ball back at the edge of the area. Solomon was trying to tee it up for Peru inside the box. Bristol City get it clear. Earthy, good touch from him just shy of the halfway line, trying to pirouette away from Bogle. Then he's fouled by Tanaka, and Bristol City have a free kick. Is that the first free kick they've won? Just shy of the halfway line. 1-0 Leeds.
Yeah, and again it's George Earthy. You know, his first touch is very good. He holds it up really well, but he's having a look over his left and right shoulder and go, all right, well, where's my teammates? I've got nobody to play it to unless I go back to my centre-halves. And that is their issue. I don't know how well they've been doing at home, but you think about 22 points away from home, Dance, and where they find themselves. They could have been a lot higher in the table, Bristol City. They've got to try and mix it up a little bit away from home.
Now Naki Wells trying to get in behind Roden as he's played forward. Wells into the area. Roden's got back level with him, and he's forced Wells outside the area, and then Wells treads on the ball. Roden picks up the loose ball, and the chance is gone. When it looked for a moment, Mickey Gray, as though Wells had just got half a yard on the Welshman getting into the area.
Well, there you go. A little ball around the corner, fantastic pass around the corner. Naki Wells in a foot race alongside Joe Rodon. He's got the beating of him. So keep doing it. Yes, OK, he's fell over the ball and nothing's came of that. But that's how you stretch a pitch. That's what centre forwards need to do. If you've got the pace, you use it.
Encouragement for Bristol City, but they're 1-0 down and still being pressurised by the hosts, who have it again with Nonto, midway point of the Bristol City half. But the ball in field was half cleared by the visitors, but it's come back to Tanaka. Tanaka out to Bogle, right hand side, puts a cross in from deep, looking for Peru. Rob Dickey heads it down, a little cushion header, and then Hayden Roberts coming out to this near touchline under pressure from Nonto, can only clear the ball straight out of play for a Leeds United throw.
Kind of a story of the first half, Dance, isn't it, when you see Bristol City with the ball at the back. You know, their heads down, they're looking at grass, they've got nowhere to play the ball to, they're just clearing the lines, and that needs to change, whether they go to a 4 in the second half or whatever they do, but he's got to change it up, Lee Manning.
Goes out to Peru. Patrick Bamford just winding up the Revy end away to our left-hand side. The lesser spotted Patrick Bamford this season at least. Been nowhere near as much in evidence as we've seen Patrick in recent seasons due to injury concerns, but he is still very much part of things. It's his 7th season at Leeds, Patrick Bamford, but hasn't started this campaign. Here's Al Tanaka, the goal scorer for Leeds United, working the ball infield to the centre circle of Gruev. Ball through the centre of the pitch was comfortably picked off by Tanner. Wells out on the right hand side lays it back to Ross McCrory, who scored an absolute rip snorter, or it was George Tanner rather who scored the rip snorter at Luton Town in the defeat on Easter Monday. Now here's George Earthy on loan from West Ham for the Robins, playing a 1-2 with Hayden Roberts, having to come back to the halfway line. There's just no way
It's
through.
unbelievable, Dance. He's got himself into a really good position, George Earthy. He's done really well again. But he's having a look up. There's nobody in sight of him, in 20 yards distance of him. So he has to go back to his full-back or his centre midfield player, and now they're starting again. Ball possession, yes, of course. Is this down to Leeds United and the press? I don't think it's been that good. There's still spaces, but there's just nothing on for Bristol
Wells
City.
is giving it away. Aronson, lovely pirouette, gets away down the left-hand side into the box. Solomon's with him. Aronson finds Peru, and the left-footed shot is blocked behind by Viner for yet another Leeds corner at the Norman Hunter end, and they continue to turn the screw. 1-0 up with 10 minutes to half-time.
Yeah, another turnover from Leeds United, absolutely brilliant. Take nothing away from them. They've approached this game 100%. They've been fantastic. But when they win the ball, the first thought is, how can I get this ball forward? Who can I see? Nonto's available, Peru's available, Solomon's available, and that's what you want. You want players to get on the ball and show their authority.
Solomon again will take the corner kick where the Norman Hunter stand meets the Jack Charlton stand. Again, it's deep to the far post. Look at Tanaka, heads it into the side netting. Again, he was free at the far post as he was from the corner that led to the opening goal. And he's dismayed that he couldn't get that on target because nobody went with him. Bristol City had not learned their lessons, but it stays 1-0.
Tance, I mean, is he frightened to get a bit of claret on his forehead here? Because I think he's got to score. I really do. He's been brilliant in the game so far, Tanaka, but if he's a little bit braver there, what, is it half a yard away out? He's just got to nod it towards goal. Yes, it's brave, but I think he's got to get his head on that and aim it towards goal.
TalkSport 2 is your home of the EFL. And don't forget, once the regular season is finished in Championship League 1, League 2, it's the playoffs. All the games, the first and second legs of the semi-finals and the 3 Wembley showpieces on Bank Holiday weekend at the end of May, live and exclusive across the TalkSport network. No other radio station will bring you every single playoff game. That's what we're here for, because we love the EFL. Here's Hayden Roberts for Bristol City. Oh, he's got away down the left-hand side from Bogle, gets to the dead ball line, pulls it back. Wells has to run out to the left-hand side of the area to keep possession. Gives it to George Earthy, just turns away from Nonto, into the box once again. Earthy lays it back to the left-hand corner of the area, and McGuane tosses it up to the far post. He was looking for McCrory, but McCrory was caught on his heels, didn't make the run, and the ball drifts behind for a Leeds United goal kick. 1-0 Leeds lead.
Well, it's a good move, isn't it? They get a lot of bodies in the box. There's 4 players waiting in there. I know the last ball into the box from McGuane isn't the best. You're looking at 2 Bristol City players standing on the back stick there. Can someone make that run towards the near post, so he's got options of either whipping it towards the near post or the far stick? On this occasion, yeah, it's a bit floaty, but they're getting into better areas because they're now advanced a little bit more. It's those 2 older midfield players for me, Dance, Knight and McGuane. They've got to break away from the centre halves. They're doing their job. You do your job in the opposition's half. Get yourself back into the game.
TalkSport 2 at Elland Road with 8 minutes to half-time. Leeds United in front by a goal to 0. They're threading the ball upfield looking for Peru, but that's well won back by Rob Dickey. Just stepped in front of his man, trying to play it along the deck down the left-hand side for Earthy, but Leeds tidied that up very, very quickly. And now it's Junior Firpo inside his own half. Tucks it in field to Ilya Gruev, the Bulgarian who joined from Werder Bremen a couple of years ago. Firpo wants a Barca, gives it back to Ampadu. Plays the ball along the deck over the halfway line for Solomon. Lovely little flick from Aronson to find Tanaka in the centre circle. He immediately tries to drive the ball out to Peru left-hand side, but a little ambitious from the Japanese midfielder. And it's a throw to Bristol City in their right-back position. It's 1-0, and we've now got 6 minutes of normal time to the break on this balmy early summer's evening, it feels like, here in West Yorkshire.
And you've got the same stats as me, Dance. You know, you're not going to win anything with that.
Expected goals for Bristol City 0.00 apparently.
Yeah, it's incredible. No corners, no shots on target. Look, they've got a chance of getting into the playoffs with a good performance here today, Bristol City. I know their away record isn't great, and they're probably playing against the best side in the Championship, but ask some questions at least. No, somebody take a risk. Liam Manning's got to be absolutely tearing his hair out.
Well, he's standing at the edge of his technical area, looking on as Leeds win it back. Down the left-hand side it goes, and Owen Aronson looked for Solomon, but he just couldn't sort his feet out, Manor Solomon. And so George Tanner will have another throw in for Bristol City. They've got options on the bench to do things differently. Sinclair Armstrong, who they signed from Queen's Park Rangers, is a much more physical, direct header of the ball, and somebody who could probably hold it up in the way that you were talking about earlier, Mickey.
Yeah, they need to do something. Because at the moment this game's just passing them by, and they're going into that final day of the season against Preston, and they're going to have to win that football match, you would think, to get into the playoffs. Look, no one's saying it's been a bad season for Bristol City. It's been a very good season, but try and finish it off. Try and prove how good you are against the best side in the Championship right now.
A reminder that a win for Bristol City, if they were to get it tonight, would guarantee their playoff place ahead of their final day game against relegation threatened Preston. That'll be one of the games that we'll have in focus for you on Saturday lunchtime. We'll have reporters at all the key games at 12:30 here on TalkSport 2 on the Championship's final day. Offside flag goes up against Manor Solomon. I'm going to be at the Coventry Building Society Arena with Chris Uwellamo for Coventry City against Middlesbrough. Those two teams are in with a playoff shout. So too are Millwall and Blackburn, but they've got tricky away ties. Blackburn at Sheffield United, Millwall at Burnley, who like Leeds are going for the title. Then you've got all the stuff going on at the bottom with Luton and Derby and Hull and Stoke and Preston.
And that's where I am, at the Hawthorns, West Bromwich Albion against Luton alongside Faker others. That's going to be fun.
Well, I did the commentary on Saturday of Luton against Coventry. Faye was at the Amex, and I got this horrible feeling I was going to hand back to a pool of water rather than Faye by the time the game had finished.
Oh, she enjoyed that one, I bet.
She did in the end. She hated me for about 89 minutes with no goals on the clock. Bristol City in possession. We're into the last 3.5 minutes of normal time. Leeds 1-0 in front. Jason Knight, for the first time in a long time, has a bit of time to measure a pass and finds Hayden Roberts on this near side the left, but Nonto's got back goal side, so Knight tucks into the centre of the Leeds half. McGuane, he's got Peru at his back, snarling and snapping after him, but Bristol City have kept possession. Viner gives it back to Knight, just over the halfway line now. He's looking for an option, tried to play the ball into the feet of Bird, but Nonto comfortably intercepted. Ampadu has to turn, face his own goal and fire it back to Darlow under a bit of pressure from Earthy. That's calmly done by the Leeds backline, and Roden will just hit a long ball to the centre circle, but that's dealt with quite well by Dickey at the back for Bristol City. Roberts, now he can swing across him from deep, looking for Earthy, who's got into the area. Darlow comes out, doesn't get near it, and Leeds bailed out by Ampadu, who volleyed it clear as he slid into the edge of the area as Darlow came for a cross he was never going to make.
Oh, what a ball. Absolutely brilliant for Roberts over on this left-hand side. Earthy just has to be a bit braver.
Now Aronson down the right-hand side of the box for Leeds, into Peru at the near post. He goes down under pressure from Dickey. Half-hearted claims for a penalty. James Bell, the referee, not interested. Just over 2 minutes of normal time to go.
See Daniel Fark down there dance as well. He's waving his arms around, asking for the penalty. I think it would be very, very soft. I think Pirot going to ground, had a look at the referee, but I think he knew himself. It was more him just losing his balance.
Manor Solomon once again jinking his way in from the far left-hand touchline, drives the ball up to the edge of the area. Peru was trying to turn it round the corner for Firpo, who made a run forward, but that's gone behind for a goal kick. And I guess, Mickey Gray, Liam Manning might actually be relatively happy to get his team in at just 1-0 down as things stand.
You're right. I was going to say the opposite. The only thing Leeds haven't done is get the second goal. Their performance has been excellent. They've done everything they need to do. They've been very professional and their movement's been fantastic. But I think if Daniel Farker goes into that dressing room at half time, he'll maybe have a word with Jayden Bogle and say, look, we could have been 1-up after 2 minutes. Do you think of that second header from Tanaka? They've had massive chances in the game to see it out and go and enjoy the football in the second half. Liam Manning will be quite pleased because they can't get any worse than this.
Leeds United owner Parag Marat is in the stadium tonight. He's jetted over from the States, maybe to have a conversation with Daniel Farker tonight. Well, I guess we'll get the upshot of that at some point. But the hierarchy are here, ostensibly just to celebrate promotion, but there's more to it than that. Certainly the way that it's been reported.
Kill two birds with one stone while you're here, Dance. Don't need to fly over a second time to have a meeting to say if you're going to be still in your post, or what players would you like.
Ball's out to the right hand side. Bristol City nod it infield. Bird keeps it away from Gruev. went to ground cheaply, trying to win a free kick, and the referee saw no free kick there. Now Leeds have tried to release Nonto down this near side, the right, holds it up just level with the 18-yard line, passes the ball along the deck into Joel Peru. Peru at the edge of the area, surrounded by Bristol City shirts, but he still manages to get it back to Tanaka. Tanaka up to the edge of the area. Bogle tries to toe poke it through for Aronson, but just no room to operate in. Just inside the 18-yard line, and the ball's back in the arms of Max O'Leary as the board goes up to indicate 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time at the end of this first half on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. Leeds United 1, Bristol City 0. It remains. Max O'Leary's going to clear from hands as he rolls it out in front of him, and now he'll fire it right-footed downfield, looking for Ross McCrory to win the header, but that's Ampadu who wins the header quite comfortably. Mickey Gray can't see because of the post directly in front of him. You'll be glad when those posts go, when they reconfigure this stand.
Like Goodison Park, isn't it?
Oh, well, yes. Well, only a couple of games to go there, right?
That's very true.
Here's Max Bird for Bristol City, finding Earthy. Knight picks it up now, gives it back to Earthy. He's got to tuck it back to halfway for Viner. Across it goes to Rob Dickey, once of Oxford United, into another former U, Marcus McGuane. Tanner now picks it up, looks for Bird, who tries to flick it down the right hand side for McCrory. Leeds have won it back. They've got another chance in stoppage time to add to the lead. Peru now picks it up towards the edge of the area, tried to toe poke it out to Nonto right hand side. Nonto's kept it in play, but the impetus of the attack has somewhat slowed. Tanaka now just inside the area, back heel for Firpo, right hand corner of the box. Oh, chips it to the far post, and it so nearly made its way through to Peru, but George Tanner just stretched his neck muscles and managed to divert it behind for a late Leeds corner. 1-0.
Yeah, he did, and he had to get there, didn't he, George Tanner? Peru was just waiting there with his left foot just to slot that one into the back of the net. Good play from Leeds, build-up play, the lovely back heel from Tanaka. Absolutely, they're enjoying themselves.
And another corner to be taken by Solomon, right under the crossbar, headed away to the edge of the area. Nonto drives it back into a crowd of players, and it's blocked. One chance for Bristol City maybe to get the ball downfield, but it's tidied up for Leeds United at the back and sent back to Darlow. And James Bell blows the whistle for half-time, and that's very satisfactory from the round of applause, I think, from the Leeds United fans around us. They are heading back to the top of the Championship as things stand. But that applause is probably tempered a little bit by the fact that it is only 1-0 to Leeds United. The goal given to them by Ao Tanaka just before the midway point of the half. He'd won a header at the far post from a corner, stayed there as the ball was then recycled into the box by Solomon, and Tanaka at the far post tucks it away underneath Max O'Leary. They've had other chances to add to their lead. Solomon denied when one-on-one by a great save from Max O'Leary. Just the odd fleeting moment for Bristol City going forward, but their attitude, approach, formation surely must change if they're to have any chance in this second half. But it is only at half-time at Elland Road on TalkSport 2. Leeds United 1, Bristol City 0.
So, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the stats here and I'm kind of taken aback. 76% possession for Leeds United. They've had 11 shots, 4 on target. No shots, none on target, no big chances for Bristol City. They've been fairly anonymous in that first half. I have to say the expected goals of 1.17 for Leeds United feels very low given the proximity from which Tanaka scored his goal and the huge chance he missed moments after. I think that's an understatement. Certainly should have been 2. We'll talk about, though, Mickey, the brilliant start from Leeds. They've deserved to go in front. Great tempo, great intensity. Tanaka got his goal. He might well take the Premier League by storm next season, and really kept calm to put Leeds in front. It was no less than they deserved.
Yeah, well, Hugh, just starting with those stats, I actually thought my Wi-Fi had froze when I looked at Bristol City's. I've got to be completely honest with you, but you're right. Look, to the game itself, they just dominated Leeds. We said they'd come here and they'd enjoy themselves. They wanted to get that goal so they could just relax a little bit, but full credit. The movement of the front three has been fantastic. Tanaka, you just mentioned there in midfield, been absolutely outstanding. Thoroughly deserved to be in front. But as you said there before, it could be 2 or 3. Bogle's opportunity, Tanaka's header at the back stick. He just has to be a little bit braver in my eyes. I think if he just nods it towards the goal, he might take a little bit of a knock on his forehead from the post. But other than that, you can't criticise the performance. The only thing is they haven't got that second goal, but what are Bristol City doing? Honest to God, I mean, you've got a chance of securing your spot in the playoffs, and I know it's a difficult game. I think we're all in agreement there, playing against Leeds United. But show me something.
Yeah.
It's been poor.
But you're a playoff side. I mean, it's not like you're a relegation-threatened side going away to Leeds United. You're 5th in the table. And the minimum you should be able to do is have a resolute defensive performance, you know, put 10 players behind the ball, 1 up there, if you know what I mean, to as an outlook ball, but certainly have the organisation that you need to stop Leeds basically doing whatever they want, and they haven't been able to stop them at all. Big question marks for Liam Manning now at half-time. What do you think he will take from that first 45 minutes, albeit, once again, sorry, Mickey, most of it negative?
No, look, he's in that dressing room now, Hugh, and he's saying, look, as bad as we've been, lads, we're 1-0 down. We're still in this game. And he talked about staying nice and tight there, having 10 behind the ball. Well, look, you do that for the first 10 or 15 minutes when you're playing against a top side like Leeds United. But then as a manager and a coach, you're watching the game that I'm watching alongside Dan Sear. And I'm working out in my head, I'm thinking, right, OK, you've sorted out the pressure. The pressure's gone. The 15 minutes is gone. Now I've got to let my midfield players have a bit of freedom. Jason Knight and Marcus McGrain have got to get over that halfway line. If they start doing that, then Max Bird starts running forward. George Earthy down the left-hand side starts running forward. They get him behind. Naki Wells had that foot race with Rodon. He got him behind him. That's what they've got to try and do. And maybe this is one of the reasons why their away form's been so poor, because he's obviously thinking negative in his mind, Liam Manning, thinking, right, OK, let's not lose the game first and foremost, but if we can win football matches away from home, it'll help us start to climb the table. But they've won 4 games away from home all season. That is not good enough.
It feels like it's in their mind a little bit how bad they've been away from home. You know, you've got such a big carrot dangling in front of you in terms of reaching the top 6. You can't play with fear at Leeds United, despite the fact that they may well be on their day the best team in the league. You know, they need to offer us a lot more in that second half. Correct. I didn't think I'd be so disappointed. And actually, at times, just towards the break, they managed to get themselves up the pitch for a little bit of time, have the ball in the opposition's half for a little bit. They just haven't managed to do anything with it per se, but they will need to sort that out, as I say, at half-time. I mentioned the miss from Tanaka. I mean, what's he done? He closed his eyes. He thought the post is going to try and tackle him. What's he done?
Do you know what, Hugh? And he's probably had, you know, a minute instinct to think about that. And when you see that white post in front of you, you forget about the ball, let me tell you. Because I think he looks at that post and thinks, oh, wow, there's going to be claret all over my forehead here. And I think he just pulls his head back a little bit. And as he does that, the ball kind of guides its way towards that post rather than towards the goal. But it's a super ball towards the back stick, which he's found himself on a couple of occasions. That's where he got his goal from. And he's
unmarked freedom of the city.
You're right.
On a couple of occasions at that back post. I mean, even early chances that came, it was Tanaka hanging out the back post, waiting for a free header, and they haven't assessed it.
Yeah, completely right. I mean, the movement's been fantastic, but if you're a Bristol City midfielder, or if you're one of the centre halves, Hayden Roberts is, you know, he's had a bit of a bad time, because I'm still working out whether he's playing left back, left centre half, or left wing. He's getting twisted all over the place because the players in front of him are not working hard enough. And I'm talking about George Earthy. He's done it on one occasion. He's got to help back, he's tracked back. You've got to help your players out, because if you don't, that's why this Leeds United side are the top side. When they're in possession, they run 100%, but when they lose the ball, they get it back as quick as they possibly can. Not seeing that from Bristol City.
Not a great half from the visitors. They trail by a goal to 0. We'll be back with Mickey Gray and Ian Danter for the second half very, very soon. As it stands, Leeds are returning to the top of the table. It's Ayo Tanaka's tap-in, very well taken goal, which puts Leeds United in front at the break. Leeds United 1, Bristol City 0.
EFL Live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get reward points too. 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
It's in here somewhere.
He's looking for a car finance agreement from 2012.
It's probably in a shoebox.
He wants to see if he can claim thousands in compensation for mis-sold car finance. He should just text DRIVE to 60777 and let mycarloanclaims.co.uk do all the work. For more information on our no-win, no-fee service, text DRIVE to 60777.
My car loan claims.
mycarloanclaims.co.uk is a trading style of a lawco, an SRA-regulated law firm.
CEF Live 2025 is the ultimate event in the electrical industry. 2 incredible days, packed with over 100 leading brands, showcasing all the latest innovations. Plus, you could win a brand new electric van worth over 45 grand and up to £1,000 worth of free power tools every hour on the hour. It's all on the 5th and 6th of June at NEC Birmingham. This is an event you don't want to miss. Register now at ceflive.co.uk. CEF. Connect with the experts.
When you're growing a small business, you need someone who understands the ins and outs. And whether you're a tailor or an accountant, you need the tools to succeed. With an HSBC small business banking account, you'll have free accounting tools and access to our business specialists, virtually or in person. Because whatever your small business looks like, we're with you all the way. Search HSBC Small Business Banking Account to get started. Subject to application, eligibility, credit check and T's and C's. Visit hsbc.co.uk for details.
When you're setting up a new nest, starting your own flock, or they just keep on growing, get more time to pay with VeryPay. Buy now and pay up to 12 months later. And nothing to pay at checkout. Search VeryPay today. Very. Let's make it sparkle. Representative 44.9% APR variable. VeryPay credit provided subject to credit and account status by Shop Direct Finance Company Limited, 18+.
Co-op members now get prices matched to Aldi. Hold on, no way. Okay then, so Co-op members now get everyday essentials price matched to Aldi. So sign up and start saving. Co-op, owned by you, right by you. Wasn't expecting that.
Co-op member prices matched versus comparable products at Aldi GB. Co-op membership required. Co-op Group food stores only. See co.uk/Aldi price match.
Feel the power and the glory. It's goal time.
He scored, it's a brilliant goal.
Fired up and raring to go. EFL Live on TalkSport 2.
The title's still to be decided. If Leeds get a win, then their destiny on final day is very much in their own hands. Peru, edge of the D, trying to work an angle, plays it into Firpo, across the face of goal, and Bogle couldn't tuck it away from right in front. Aronson for Leeds United finds Solomon just inside the area, left-hand side, goes for goal, pushed away by O'Leary. Solomon threads it up to the edge of the area. Peru lays it off to Aronson. Aronson takes the drive and it's blocked by the legs of O'Leary, and behind, back out to Solomon, left-hand side of the area. Gets a good ball to the far post. Tanaka! It had to come, it just had to come, and it's out, Tanaka!
That's brave dance. Goalkeeper coming off his line. He may be thinking he's going to get one from the keeper, but he keeps his cool, keeps it low. What a finish, what a player.
Aronson might get onto Solomon inside the area. Great ball through from Karev, saved by the keeper. What a stop from Max O'Leary.
Absolutely fantastic from Max O'Leary.
But it is only at half-time at Elland Road on TalkSport 2. Leeds United 1, Bristol City 0.
Yes, Aya Tanaka's 5th goal of the season puts Leeds United halfway towards returning to the top of the championship table on goal difference as they keep their pursuit of the championship title alive. A victory tonight, if they can come from behind, will put Bristol City guaranteed into the playoffs, but so far they haven't played like a side who have anything to play for in terms of their first 45 minutes performance. Liam Manning will have to sort his side out for this big second half. It's coming for you very, very shortly here on TalkSport 2. In the meantime, if Leeds were to win the championship title, Burnley are making sure they're going to work for it. Both sides already promoted, of course, but the league title's still up for grabs. Yesterday at the EFL Awards, our very own Adrian Clark caught up with the Burnley defender Maxine Stev, who was named in the Championship's team of the season. In the meantime, if Leeds were to win the Championship,
we will certainly Saturday, but that's a great season, great achievement for everyone. So we are very happy about this. So that's a good achievement for everyone.
Yeah. How much have you enjoyed playing for Scott Parker with this amazing defensive record? It's just quite astonishing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Honestly, that's a top manager. He has a great career about footballer, so he has great experience about high level. So that's amazing. We are 97 point now. So that's a great achievement. Yeah, also.
What's it like in training? You know, is he drilling you for hour after hour after hour? Because it doesn't come by chance or luck.
No, it's not like hour by hour, but we stay a long time in the training ground, sometimes for hard work, but he loved the hard work, he loved the unity and the desire about everyone, so he is a great manager and top guy.
Yeah. How excited are you about playing Premier League football?
Yeah, I'm excited, honestly. That's the best league in the world, so everyone is excited about playing Premier League, so that's a really good time, and I know Burnley is a Premier League football, so Premier League club, so that's very good, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, at times you've made Championship football look very easy. You're certainly ready. You feel ready for the step up, and do you think the team in general is ready to cope okay in the Premier League?
Honestly, we will see. We will see next season. But everyone is ready to play in Premier League. And honestly, we have one of the best dressing room I never see. It's crazy. Everyone is a friend in the dressing room. So that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think is the secret to surviving in the Premier League? What is the secret?
Yeah, I think it's just hard work. If everyone work for everyone, that's the key for me. It's just the basics about the foundation. So if we keep this mentality and the desire to work for everyone, that's a good key, yeah.
So it will go right down to the wire. Burnley defender Maxine Esteve there talking to Adrian Clark. Leeds certainly doing their part so far this evening. Burnley on the final day will try and take it right down to the wire, as I mentioned. We're going to have it all for you here on TalkSport 2. Coventry City versus Middlesbrough is our main game, 12:30 exclusively on Saturday. Faye Carruthers will be at the Hawthorns. Ian Danter and former Scotland striker Chris Uluma on commentary, but we'll have all the goals as they go in, including big drama at the bottom on the final day of the Championship season. Remember, the final games in League 1 and League 2 will be covered for you over on TalkSport as well. Plenty of big games to come this week as well. Barcelona against Inter Milan on Wednesday night on TalkSport in the Champions League semi-final first leg. Thursday, we will have Nottingham Forest versus Brentford here on TalkSport 2. And at 8 o'clock on TalkSport, Athletic Bilbao against Manchester United. Spurs against Bodo Glimt in the Europa League semi-final will be available on the TalkSport app. And we'll have Manchester City against Wolves in the Premier League on Friday, exclusively live on TalkSport. Okay, let's head back to Elland Road. It's been a great atmosphere so far. The second half ahead of us. I wonder, Mickey Gray, who's there alongside Ian Danter, whether if you were Liam Manning, you'd be making changes at the break.
Well, I'm watching the most bizarre warm-up if they are going to make a change at half-time, and it's Sinclair Armstrong, who looks like he's going to come on for Bristol City in the second half, but he came out, basically got across the touchline right in front of him, next to the dugouts, did about a keepy-ups for about 20, and then just kicked the ball towards the Leeds United supporters. And that was his warm-up. So I'm not sure if he's coming on or not, but I'd expect a lot more from somebody if they are. I don't think he is, actually, because he's took his seat now in the dugout. But it's a matter of time before they make changes.
So not exactly impressing on the manager that he should be coming on.
Not. It was unbelievable.
Would you make changes if you were Liam Manning?
Yes, I would, whether it's to the personnel or to the system that he's playing, because this system's not working for them. Whether they go to a 4 at the back and help somebody out in midfield, maybe put another body in midfield, but it's just about willingness and players wanting to do the hard yards and do that extra bit of running. If they don't do that, this game can get away from them.
So far, Leeds United cannot be stopped. You'd imagine the second goal, if it went to them, would be the nail in the coffin this evening for Bristol City. Will they turn things around live on TalkSport 2? I'll leave you for the second half with the former England defender Mickey Gray and TalkSport's Ian Danter.
Thanks you. Both sets of players back out. No changes from either manager at the turnaround. Leeds in all white will be kicking from right to left as we look halfway back in the main stand. So the Revy end to our left is where Leeds will be heading, as they love to do in the second half of games. Bristol City get us underway in this second half, wearing their chain strip of all black with a little bit of red trim, and they're kicking from left to right as we look towards the Norman Hunter end. The Bristol City travelling contingent are in the same stand as us, down to our far right hand side in the paddock area of the John Charles main stand. I'll run you through the lineups in a minute, but the pattern of the first half is already being picked up in the second. Leeds in possession, right hand side with Jayden Bogle, who had a great early chance to give Leeds United a goal within 5 minutes of the game starting, but just couldn't convert. But Tanaka did manage to get the job done. Tanaka, Bogle and Dan James were all named in the EFL Team of the Year at the EFL Awards last night. You just heard Adrian Clark chatting with Maxime Esteve at those ceremonies last night. Leeds play the ball into the area. Verpo with a drive, hits the goalkeeper. Follow-up from Lonzo, brilliantly kept out by O'Leary on the follow-up. And then a third shot saved by O'Leary, this time from Bogle. And it ends up being a corner at the Revy end. And Max O'Leary is on a one-man mission to keep the score down at Elland Road, 1-0.
Well, what about that? The movement was brilliant from Leeds United. The chance from Firpo was fantastic. The save from O'Leary, outstanding. The second one came from Nonto, who was bouncing up in the air, but he somehow gets his body up, palms it away, and then a third comes in. Wow, if his players were working like that, they might be all right.
Corner kick sent in, headed away by Dickey for Bristol City, but Nonto will pick up the loose ball. And back to the centre circle where Bogle, who had the last of those 3 chances, denied by Max O'Leary's brilliance from close range. Somehow it's still just 1-0.
What about that, Dance? I mean, look, you talk about your goalkeeper standing up and making the saves when he needs to. 3 in the space of, 6 or 7 seconds. Absolutely brilliant. He should be having a word with some of his players and say, right, OK, pull your sleeves up and do exactly what I'm doing. I'm working my socks off to win the game here and get us in the playoffs. If the players are looking at that, they should react to it.
Firpo heads the ball down, but McCrory wins it back. One of my first ever footballing memories as a little boy was Jim Montgomery making the most incredible double save for Sunderland in the FA Cup Final 73 from first Trevor Cherry and then Peter Lorimer. Well, O'Leary showing off. He's just made 3 saves from Leeds players in quick succession.
Wasn't it fantastic? Absolutely brilliant. Made a very good save in the first half as well. So he's certainly on his game, probably making saves that he doesn't want to make, Max O'Leary, but at least he's doing his job.
He's an academy graduate at Bristol City, is Max O'Leary. Made well over 160 appearances since his debut 10 years ago in the 15-16 season. Little push on McCrory. So the lineups: Darlow in goal for Leeds, Bogle, Roden, Ampadu, Firpo, Tanaka, Gruev, Nonto, Aronson, Solomon and Peru. For Bristol City, O'Leary the keeper, Tanner, Dickey, Viner, and then McCrory, McGuane, Knight, Roberts, Bird, Earthy and Wells. Foul on Naki Wells on halfway, and a yellow card for Ao Tanaka. So a goal and a caution for the Japanese midfielder.
I won't worry about that too much. Tanaka just a little bit late with his challenge there. Referee comes straight across, yellow card. He's not won, certainly not in this game. He hasn't really had to make too many challenges, has he?
No. Ball's played into the feet of Naki Wells as Bristol City try and come forward, but Leeds win it back inside their own half. Manor Solomon just slips as he works the ball back to his keeper, Carl Darlow. And Darlow can size up his options, plays the ball out left to Ethan Ampadu at the left-hand corner of his own penalty area. Lovely ball swept across from left to right, and Roden can elegantly move towards the halfway line in possession. Now feeds Nonto, who can scurry down the right-hand side. Bogle on the overlap. Also Aronson in the penalty area, pulls it back to the 6-yard line, but Tanner, covering from full-back, comes across and puts it out of play for a Leeds United throw. 1-0.
Well, Nonto played the pass, but I tell you how he was able to do it was the overlap and run from Jayden Bogle. Ran from his own half, got past his wide player, then the gap started to happen. Brilliant ball in from Harrison, just couldn't pick anybody out, but that movement's still there, what we saw in the first half.
Yeah, there was not just an overlap but an underlap as well. He had 2 options there, Willie Nonto. Picked the underlapping run of Brendan Aronson, but Bristol City repelled it. Nearly 5 minutes gone in the second half on your home of the EFL, TalkSport 2. Leeds United 1, Bristol City 0. And don't forget, you can call Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara from 10 o'clock on TalkSport, 03717 22 3344. Test Jamie and Jason's EFL credentials with your thoughts on this game this evening.
I see Bristol City are a little bit narrower in this second half, Dance.
Peru trying to throw the ball through to Solomon. Can't take the ball at pace just inside the area, and it's a goal kick. You were saying, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, they're very narrow now, Bristol City, and they're making Leeds go on the outside, which is going to help them. But look, the crosses are going to come into the box because they're going to get joy, Leeds United, with the 2 wide players they've got in Bogle and Firpo. But what he's doing is, it's asking questions now of the wide players. They're saying, right, quality, what quality have you got? The problem Bristol City have got now is the 2 wing-backs are playing as full-backs, basically. It's a flat-back 5. They need to get them further up the pitch, and if they start to do that, when these Leeds United players start to tire a little bit, that's when they might get their joy.
Jayden Bogle for Leeds United hooks the ball up to the halfway line. Aronson scrambling for possession, but Bristol City win it back. Jason Knight just inside his own half, tucks it back to Rob Dickey. That's a neat ball. up to Hayden Roberts on the halfway line, looks up and he plays it infield looking for Earthy, but didn't see the run that the Bulgarian Ilya Gruev made, and he comfortably wins it back for the home side.
Yeah, it's a wrong pass, wasn't it? Wrong option. Needed to go in behind the back line of Leeds United there. Don't try and play those cute balls into midfield, because Leeds United they're bossing it in there at the moment. Give the ball away, and now they're going to be chasing it for the next 2.5 minutes.
Well, it's the Bristol City players who are warming up now. 5 of them down beneath us towards the Revy end, including Sinclair Armstrong, who's putting a bit more effort into this warm-up than the one he was doing at half-time that got Mickey all wound up.
Yeah, well.
Mind you, he's just stood stock still as I'm saying that now. They all are. They're looking on, hoping that Bristol City can get the ball downfield, but it's Leeds who've won it back. 7 minutes gone in the second half. If you're just tuning into EFL live on TalkSport 2, Ian Dancer and Mickey Gray with you at Elland Road, home of Leeds United, who are going back to the top of the table with this win. They go to Plymouth on the final day, whilst Burnley, who they will leapfrog into top spot with this win, they entertain Millwall, who've got designs on a playoff place themselves. Just one of the many either-ors that's going on Saturday lunchtime. We'll bring you all of that on TalkSport 2. Starts from noon. Mickey Gray will be calming Faye Carruthers as best he can at the Hawthorns, where West Brom are playing our beloved Luton. But our commentary again will be me and Chris Llewellyn at the Coventry Building Society Arena. 2 teams bidding for one of those final spots in the top 6. Coventry, Middlesbrough, and as things stand, there will be 2 places up for grabs, because Bristol City are getting nothing here at the moment, and they've got some defending to do. Brendan Aronson in the centre of the Robins half lays it back to first Rodon, then Ampadu. Solomon, always willing to pick the ball up deep, works it out to the left hand side, the near side to us and Junior Firpo. Now, lovely ball from Solomon, finds Aronson in the area onside, twisting and turning, gets a shot away. It's weak and cleared away by Bristol City. Can they get it downfield and keep it in play on this near side? They can, through Max Bird. It's a lovely approach play from Leeds United.
Yeah, Mickey, it was. I mean, was Aronson a little bit too greedy? Could he have laid it off again first time? He had a couple of runners just on the outside of him, tried to chop it onto his right foot, and the chance had gone then. As Bristol now are on the attack, it's starting to open up the game for the away team.
George Earthy in the inside left channel for Bristol City, plays a short 1-2 with McGuane, then gives it back to Marcus McGuane, who got his first start against Leeds United in the reverse fixture. McGuane at Ashton Gate back in the autumn. That was when Liam Manning had actually made his return to the ground after the tragic family circumstances that happened to him during the course of October. Jason Knight gives the ball out to George Tanner on this right hand side, but there's no space for him to work in. Certainly couldn't make his way down that right hand touchline. White lead shirts blocking his path, so it's back to Knight on halfway. Earthy starts to make a run through the middle, but holding court on the far left hand side is Hayden Roberts. The crossfield pass won't reach him. It was well intercepted by Bogle, and then Tanaka lets the ball run across his body, protecting it from the attentions of Bird, and finds Junior Firpo. Strokes it along the deck up to Peru, just shy of the halfway line. Lovely turn from Joel Peru, and he plays a lovely ball through the centre for Willie Nonto. Nonto for 2-0! Never in doubt! What a ball from Joel Peru to split the Bristol City defence wide apart and put Wilfred Nonto through one-on-one with Max O'Leary. And even though O'Leary made a brilliant triple save earlier in the half, nothing he could do to prevent Nonto slotting it home at the Revy end and putting Leeds United 2-0 up and back on top. Leeds 2, Bristol City 0.
Now they can settle the nerves and enjoy this evening. Leeds United, they've been working so hard to get this second goal. Probably thought it was going to come before the half-time break, but it's come now. And Wilfred Nonto, absolutely brilliant. You see the run, you see the pass from Peru, time to perfection. Nonto, that little touch to get him inside the 18-yard area. He waits for O'Leary to come off his line, and he just slots the ball in the back of the net. Absolutely brilliant. This place is bedlam at the moment. Every flag in the stadium is just incredible. The atmosphere is brilliant. Leeds United, what a team.
The free scarves that were on every seat are being waved around the heads once more. And Willie Nonto has 2 in 2. Scored here against Stoke last time out in that 6-0 rout. And another one here. And that has prompted Liam Manning to make changes, and not just Sinclair Armstrong, who we mentioned before, but also Anis Mehmeti is going to be introduced. But we're back underway on TalkSport 2 with Leeds United 2 goals to the good. It's a slight injury for Ross McCrory on this near side, and he's just been spotted by the referee James Bell, and so Liam Manning will make the changes. I'm not sure whether Ross McCrory was one of those that was going to be withdrawn anyway, but Armstrong and Mehmeti are ready to be introduced, and the numbers are just being given to the fourth official, Anthony Backhouse, who will sort out the ons and offs in terms of numbers. McCrory, a bit of a walking wounded at the minute for Bristol City. Now he's got to make his way back into his own half, because here come Leeds United again. Nonto, who's just scored that second. Bogle making a terrific run on his outside. He feeds Jayden Bogle down the right-hand side of the box. What defending from Zach Viner to slide in, win the ball, get to his feet and bring it clear. That was very neatly done.
Yeah, very cool from Viner. Had to time it perfect, and he did so. But the run again, he's just won it back. Bogle, his running tonight has been sensational.
That's why he's in the team of the year.
Yeah, he's been brilliant, Dan, he really has. And he's one of those fullbacks who, he make an overlap, but he doesn't moan, he doesn't wave his arms around if he's not winning the ball, he just keeps making that run. Superb.
So the changes for Bristol City. Sinclair Armstrong's going to come on for Naki Wells, and Mehmeti's going to replace Max Bird. So it's like for like in terms of positional switches. Armstrong's a centre forward like Wells, Mehmeti an attacking midfielder like Bird. So no real change to the system of Bristol City as things stand, but a different presence up front in Sinclair Armstrong, who came through the ranks at QPR, scored 4 goals in 60 odd appearances and cost Bristol City just over £2.5 million.
Yeah, you're just wondering, Dan, whether they've actually made it too late now. We know they could have done it when it was 1-0, give themselves a chance of maybe getting the ball into Leeds' half, and then Armstrong holding the ball up, bringing in the wide players to give them a better chance of getting that leveller. But now Leeds have got the second. I think Armstrong's going to be just chasing around, he's going to be chasing shadows. See these Leeds players now, the confidence is flowing through them, and they're not going to rush, they're going to be patient, they're going to bide the time and just wait for those chances. But what an evening this is at Elland Road.
Marching on together at full volume around us as Bogle, who scored 6 goals, we shouldn't forget, as well as creating a few assists.
He's a good player, Dan, sorry for jumping in, but
no.
You look at 3, 4, 5 of these Leeds United players, they can make the step up. They just need help. If Leeds spend wisely, they've got every chance of staying in the Premier League. Yeah, it's a big shout because it hasn't even started yet, but that's what they're going to have to do.
And now that Bristol City find themselves 2-0 down, they'll know that only Burnley have conceded fewer goals than Leeds, 29. Burnley have only conceded 15.
Yeah,
that's miserly.
Incredible.
And that's why James Trafford, Maxime Esteve and CJ Egan-Riley were all in the EFL Team of the Year. I'll bet there'll be every away seat taken at Home Park on Saturday lunchtime with Leeds fans travelling down. It's a long way down there for a 12:30 kick-off.
Oh, they won't mind that, dance. It's party time. It's party time at Elland Road tonight. This is why we love the Championship.
Leeds 2, Bristol City 0 as we approach the hour mark on your home of the EFL, where every playoff game will be live along with TalkSport once we get into the month of May. Deafening noise as Solomon drifts down the left-hand side, gets into the area via a deflection to the dead ball line, tries to pull it back, and McCrory, who seems to have run off that injury, concedes a corner kick. 2-0 Leeds United.
Great play again, isn't it, from Solomon? Gets that little bit of good fortune, but he's been at it all night, trying to get to that byline, just loses his balance a little bit, doesn't he? But the energy levels and the tenacity to get there, superb.
I think that's 11 corners for Leeds United. Wow. As we move into this second half. At the Revie end, Solomon, right-footed, drives it into the near post, flies across the penalty area through a forest of legs, and Bristol City are able to get it clear through Hayden Roberts, but he can only find Nonto, who's tracking back towards the halfway line. You're listening to Leeds 2, Bristol City 0 in the EFL Championship. Live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get yourself rewards points. 18 plus. Participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. Mickey Gray's alongside me. Ian Dante here at Elland Road. And as usual, when Leeds United are going well, you can barely hear yourself thinking here.
It's brilliant, isn't it? They're a great addition to the Premier League. I know that's been said before, but as I mentioned earlier, Dance, they can't keep being that yo-yo team. Up into the Premier League for a season and then straight back down again. This club's too big for that. It really is. One club city, great fan base, brilliant place to play your football. And if they get it right, this place, they can go places again.
Well, I wonder, with Parag Murat here tonight from the board, whether this display is giving him cause for optimism that Daniel Farke's methods and his system and the way he wants his players to play is attractive to the ownership group, and they are going to be more than happy to keep the German on as he bids for a third championship title success. He won the title twice at Norwich, and he actually said that even though he only spent 8 million on players at Norwich, they still finished with 22 points, which is more than any of the current bottom three have got in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, I understand where he's coming from, but I watched them when they came into the Premier League dancing. I just think he got it wrong, trying to play out from the back like we see a lot of sides do this time around. We've seen it with Southampton under Russell Martin, and it wasn't working, and stubbornness sometimes can get the best of you, saying I'm not going to change my ways. Well, look, it's a Premier League. It's a completely different animal to the Championship. You have to try and work to what's in front of you and try and get something out of the games.
62 minutes gone. Leeds 2, Bristol City 0 on TalkSport 2. Manor Solomon drifts inside from George Earthy, midway point of the half, finds Peru, lays it off to Aronson, rolls across to the right side of the box. Nonso unselfishly trying to pull it back across the face of goal for a teammate when he could have gone for goal. Admittedly, the angle was tight though, Mickey.
Yeah, Aronson, could he have had a shot himself? Worked the angle really well. It was one pass too many for me. I know Nonso was in a more advanced position, but he's inside the 18-yard area. Get your laces through it. Ask questions of O'Leary and that Bristol City goal.
But he's won a corner, Wilfried Nonto, where the Revienne meets the Jack Tarleton stand opposite us. And the Bulgarian Ilya Gruev has gone across to take this corner, be a left-footed in-swinger from the midfielder. Will he take it short to Nonto? He dummied to, but Mehmeti was out there to keep an eye on Nonto, who's now drifting into the penalty area. So in it comes from Gruev, onto the 6-yard line, heads go up, Firpo heads it wide, he falls to the turf in despair, thinking he should have got that on target. He rose highest of all, but couldn't direct his header goalwards. Goal kick, 2-0.
Yeah, it's a great ball, isn't it? See Firpo just getting away from his mark, a little nudge on him, maybe made it a little bit more difficult for him, but it nearly did creep into the far right hand corner. But brave from Firpo to try and get above everybody. Super header.
It's been a busy day of sport across the network. We had that fight announced, Usyk against Dubois, the rematch. And if you go to the TalkSport app that's been upgraded, loads of new stuff on there. There's loads of video content on there that you can check out, including when Usyk and Dubois were on White and Jordan with Martin Keown today. God, that must have been a cramped old studio with the 5 of them in there. TalkSport app, free to download for your phone, and it's had one heck of an upgrade. But loads of the stuff you already know on there. Listen to live radio, catch up with Listen Again. There's our live games tab, so you know what live football we've got coming up for you. Podcasts and our video content.
I've just seen the Mehmeti there losing one of his pink boots.
Now, hang on, let's not talk about coloured boots, because I saw the ones you were wearing yesterday in your charity game. Yellow, weren't they? Canary yellow?
You've got to try and stand out, Dance. I haven't got the long hair anymore. Remember I was at Wolves and the pink boots had just came out in that period, and Mick McCarthy said, I do not want to see a pair of those pink boots at this stadium.
That does not surprise me about Mick one little bit. Free kick to Bristol City. Out on the far touchline, they're attacking the Norman Hunter, and this can be worked into the box from that far side. There's plenty in that penalty area. Mehmeti standing over it. Earthy's standing at the edge of the box. Centre halves are up from the back. Armstrong's an obvious target. Whipped in by Mehmeti to the far post, but it's over the head of McCrory, who was closest to it. And it goes behind after one bounce for a Leeds United goal kick, and the hosts stay 2-0 up as we approach the midway point of the second half on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, I mean, they've not had many options, have they, from wide areas, Bristol City, to get that ball in the area, or should I say set pieces or corners. But when they do, it has to be better than that, doesn't it? You know, you're looking at the quality, no pressure on you, just put the ball into that 6-yard area. Well, it's got to be better than that. Mehmeti just came onto the field trying to impress his manager. That was poor.
Still no shots, either off or on target, from Bristol City, whereas Leeds have had 17 attempts at goal, 8 on target, 6 big chances, according to the statistics I've got in front of me here, but it is only 2-0, but they are firmly in control. I guess 3 of those big chances came in that one block where Max O'Leary was so brilliant.
He did, yeah.
Forgot about that, didn't I? Solomon for Leeds, left-hand side, faced up by McCrory. Oh, lovely quick feet from Solomon. Darts away down the left-hand side, looks up, 4 to hit in the box if he can get the cross in. Now being held up by McCrory, chips it in right-footed. Bogle heads it back across the facing goal, over the head of Firpo. Aronson volleys it over the bar on the bounce from the corner of the 6-yard box. And another chance goes a-begging for Leeds United, 2-0.
I mean, you talk about wide play. Mano Solomon is absolutely fantastic. You wait for the movement of your fullback. He tries to nick the ball, the little tic-tac away from his marker, and then what? He's not happy with that, so he pulls the ball back, tries to do it again, and then at the end of it puts a great ball into the box. It's pulled back towards that 6-yard area, and you're right, Bogle, Aronson just waiting there, just to nod the ball into the back of the net. Super play.
Goal kick to Bristol City, thumped downfield by O'Leary. McCrory goes up for the header, but Ampadu there first with a strong header out for a throw-in on this near side. Adrian Durham's going to be hosting kick-off tomorrow night from Emirates Stadium. Regular updates of Arsenal's Champions League semi-final first leg against Paris Saint-Germain, and then we've got the first leg of Barcelona Inter live on TalkSport 2 on Wednesday evening, before 3 games on Thursday. On TalkSport you've got Forest Brentford, their game in hand. Forest in the Premier League, they can go back third with a win at home to the Bees. And then from the Europa League we've got Athletic Bilbao against Manchester United on TalkSport 2 at 8 o'clock on Thursday. At the same time, on the new improved TalkSport app, you can check out commentary of Spurs against Bodo Glimt in the Europa League as well.
What a week of football on TalkSport and TalkSport 2, Dance.
We are spoiling you like the bloke with the chocolates. Right hand side, Bogle for Leeds United. Oh, Nonto's in space, drifting out to the right hand side. Early ball up to Peru at the edge of the area, being held up, rolls it across to Firpo. Firpo just next to the D, gives it back to Gruev, urged to shoot, tries to play a 1-2, comes out to Solomon. It's going to curl it goal. Does he? No, he gets too much on that, right underneath it, and it went way over the top for a goal kick to Bristol City with just over 20 minutes to go at Elland Road. 2-0.
Yeah, he's always leaning back there, wasn't he, Solomon? Good play again from Leeds, from right hand side, switched over to the left hand side. See, Solomon was always trying to just look for that little half a yard, but when he got his head down to try and whip it, you could see he's back. He leant back a little bit. That's why it went sky high over the top of the crossbar.
So Leeds will be back on top, 97 points, same as Burnley, but they're 11 goals better off, plus 62 to Burnley's plus 51. And Leeds go to Plymouth on the final day, whilst Burnley entertain Millwall. You do not expect a goal swing in Burnley's favour, even though they put 5 in on Easter Monday. Leeds' destiny in their own hands in terms of the title. And they've defended well as McCrory tried to bring the ball down out the sky at the corner of the Leeds penalty area. Leeds have it back with Firpo, slightly loose ball in field, but Gruev did so well to win it back. And what a ball threaded down the touchline for Mano Solomon, who's now charging at the Bristol City backline up to the edge of the area. Solomon gets into the box, he's still holding on to the ball, but he runs into Rob Dickey. Tried to do too much, but then Dickey's ball given away to Jayden Bogle, who got in front of Mehmeti. Down the right-hand side of the box for Leeds. Infield for Tanaka, urged to shoot. He's going to shoot, but it's straight at Max O'Leary, who can comfortably pat it down in front of him, and it stays 2-0 to Leeds United.
Initially on the left-hand side, absolutely brilliant. The ball from Gruev down the left-hand side to Solomon. But when it goes over and they think you lost the ball, who's over there? Jayden Bogle, yet again.
Mehmeti puts a ball into the box. It's way over the head of Sinclair Armstrong, who was really the only player in the box ready to receive it, and Mehmeti apologises for the overhit cross. Sam Bell's going to be on in a minute, another Bristol City Academy graduate, and also Scott Twine, who's been nursing a knee problem, and Liam Manning has been loath to use him too much. I think he wants to keep him for the playoffs, because if ever they
get there first.
Well, yes, that's true. As things stand, they'd still have work to do. They would stay in 5th, Bristol City, on 67 points, but you'd have Coventry on 66, Millwall 66, Blackburn 65, and even Middlesbrough 64 got a better goal difference than Bristol City, so they can get level if Bristol City were to lose to Preston on Saturday, and if Middlesbrough won at Coventry, they go above the Robins. So, oh boy, it's all to play for.
It is dancing. Look, a performance like this, you don't know what it does to morale and momentum of your team. That's going to be 2 games in a row that they've lost. They're not playing well, they're not getting any shots on target. You're wondering where that goal's going to come from. Yes, they're in front of their home supporters, you'd expect more, and we already mentioned that Preston are not in great form, but it's the last day of the season. They should have had this done and dusted, Bristol City. They should have actually been in the playoffs already, but it's all still to do.
And I've no doubt that proud Yorkshireman Paul Heckingbottom, he must be here tonight, or one of his Preston team will be here scouting what's going on. Might have picked up some pointers. Here's Nonto for Leeds, 2-0 up on TalkSport 2. Out to Junior Firpo, left-hand side. Lays it off to Tanaka at the edge of the centre circle. He runs forward 10 yards or so and then clips it out to Bogle on the far right-hand side of the field. Tanaka again. Lays it off to Joe Roden. Now Gruev picks it up. The Bristol City substitutions have to wait for a moment. Manor Solomon lets the ball come to him, then just tries to jink away from Ross McCrory. Ball up to the edge of the area. Offside flag goes up against Junior Firpo. That will allow the changes to be made. Twine and Bell coming on. Earthy is coming off to allow Twine to come on. And Sam Bell is coming on for Ross McCrory, who I mentioned picked up a bit of a knock earlier in the half. TalkSport breakfast back in the morning from 6 a.m. You got Shabana Hearn with early breakfast at 5 if you're a proper early bird, and then Ali McCoist and Andy Townsend looking after things from 6 a.m. with guests including Lee Dixon and PDC dart star Stephen Bunting, as Bristol City win a corner. A rare corner, might be their only corner of the game, I think, and they're taking it quickly. Scott Twine puts the ball into the box, it's headed away by Tanaka, drifts out to Sam Bell, his first involvement on this near side of Bristol City right. Gets up to the right-hand corner of the area, drives at Firpo, digs out a decent cross, headed up in the air by Dickey, volley towards goal but wide by Twine. His first proper involvement, can't connect with the volley as it dropped out the sky, and it's a goal kick to Leeds. Got to be careful with Scott Twine though, he doesn't deal in tap-ins when he scores, they're almost always 35-yard thunderbolts, it seems to me.
Dan, I mean, to be fair, if he connects with that one right, it's coming out of the sky, it would be a decent finish, because it's on the half volley. It's just his timing of his finish is really poor. I just wonder why they took that corner so quickly. Yeah, it nearly came off for them, but wait until everybody's set, get some centre halves into the 18-yard box, because they've not defended too much tonight, they've just been all over the place. Give them a chance to go and get themselves back into this game late on, yes, albeit. But it was a quick corner. It was, Bristol City had 2 players in the box. So hard to pick out one of your teammates.
You've missed none of the action, by the way, because Jayden Bogle's been down for the last few minutes.
You know what we want now, don't you?
You want Harry Gray, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think it's perfect for him. Give him a little bit more game time. 15 minutes at the end of the game with a bit added on at the end as well. I want to see what he's all about.
I'm not sure you're going to see him quite yet. I mean, Bogle, he might be being replaced here. I mean, Joshua Giavogi is a potential player that could come on. Not sure whether he was summoned back to the bench by Daniel Farker just then. Anyway, back underway, less than quarter of an hour to go. Leeds United 2, Bristol City 0. Leeds going back to the top of the Championship, and they will be ahead of Burnley on goal difference ahead of Saturday lunchtime's final day of action live on TalkSport 2. Coventry Middlesbrough are Coventry centrepiece, but we'll have reporters at all the key games in the Championship with the playoff and relegation issues and the issue of the title, I should not forget, to be decided. Because it's definitely to be decided as things stand.
What do they do with that trophy, the dance? Is it going to be in a helicopter?
Helicopter job, innit? Or do they have one made of chocolate?
Have they got a replica?
Yeah, a replica made of chocolate or something.
Right, okay.
Try and pass it off as the real
it's
thing.
not a hot day.
It may well be, based on the forecast I've seen. Ball floated into the Bristol City area, headed away by Tanner. Nonto nods it down for the effervescent Tanaka. Nonto again, centre of the Bristol City half, lays it off to Gruev, calmly rolls it back to Ethan Ampadu. Changes will be made. Patrick Bamford's going to come on, and Laji Ramazzani, I think, is the other player that's going to be on for Leeds United sooner rather than later. So Mickey Gray does not get his wish. But it's not your birthday anyway, so you don't get a wish.
Scored yesterday, deserve it.
You keep going to go on about scoring that goal, honestly.
Yeah.
I suppose. How many did you score in your career, professional
it
career?
It was my right foot, dance.
Oh, that's what counts, right?
Of course.
Okay. You scuffed it, right? You went to hit it with your left and it bounced off your right.
Probably.
Bristol City trying to get a foothold in this game. They've got 13 minutes to try and put the nerves up Bristol City, Leeds United, and they've got Swine trying to slide it through for Sam Bell. Mehmeti picks it up at the edge of the area but runs into Ampadu, who stays on his feet, classily wins the ball, drops his shoulder to get away from a midfielder, and Leeds United have it back.
Great, it's great, isn't it? All the plaudits when they've got the ball and their movement in those forward areas, but defensively, Firpo throwing his body on the line. You've got Bogle getting him back into a really good position, making it really hard, and then Ampadu, just cool as a cucumber, wasn't he? Absolutely brilliant, calm as you like, and look, the Olays have started now.
Yeah, every completed pass getting the cheer. Bamford and Ramazzani wait for their opportunity to show what they can do. There's still 12 minutes of normal time to play here at Elland Road on TalkSport 2. Firpo on halfway, lays it back to Gruev. Now across to first Rodon, then Ampadu. Ampadu keeps it away from Twine, and Gruev, still inside his own half, elects to go back to his centre halves, and yeah, the Leeds fans are going to cheer anything at this point.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and I think the players are reacting to it as well. You probably would have seen the ball go a little bit forward quicker now, but because they can hear those Olays, they're enjoying it, aren't they?
Wonder if the owner's joining in. I often wonder that, you know, in these sort of, did the owners join in with the Mexican wave, the Olays, all that? Or they just sit there on their hands?
Probably if they're winning, dance, I'm sure he would be.
Peru trying to get onto a loose ball on the halfway line. They're streaming forward in white. Here's Nonto up to the edge of the area. Brilliant challenge by George Tanner, who went to ground at the 18-yard line and made a superb stop to prevent Nonto getting through. McGuane lays it back to Tanner, back for O'Leary. He's got to take a touch right in front of his own goal, manages to smuggle it out to Bell, and that's a good ball from Sam Bell, intended for Twine on halfway, but Gruev just slid across the pitch and diverted it out of play for a Bristol City throw. So Patrick Bamford about to make his 16th substitute appearance of the season. Hasn't started in the Championship all campaign, Patrick Bamford, but he's going to get a run in place of Joel Peru, who doesn't add to the 4 goals he got here a week ago.
Yeah, just freshening it up, giving players the opportunity, and Bamford, been a difficult season for him, hasn't it, with injuries and lack of game time. I mean, just listen to that reception. 7 or 8 years now he's been at this club, and he's scored a lot of goals, so I think the respect's still there. You just wonder, moving forward, Dance, is he going to be somewhere else plying his trade? But he gets his chance now, doesn't he, which is nice to see.
And the other change, she's Willie Nonto, who scored the 2nd goal tonight for Leeds, coming off, and another diminutive attacking player, Laji Ramazzani, who arrived from Almira in the summer. He gets a few minutes to show what he can do. 4 goals in the Championship for him. He play on either side of that 3 behind the 1 for Leeds United, and he's gone out to the right hand side that Nonto was occupying. Throw into Leeds, bang on halfway. 10 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Leeds United 2, Bristol City 0 on EFL Live in the Championship. Over on TalkSport at 10 o'clock, it is the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara, taking your calls after a busy weekend. Firpo for Leeds United, in the box, left-hand side, across the face of goal, and Ramazani's first touch is to make it 3-0. Brilliant run and ball across from Junior Firpo, and the little Belgian stole it at the far post to seal the points on a party night at Elland Road when they drive back to the top of the Championship table with another convincing win in front of their own supporters. Huge delight at Elland Road. Ramazani makes it Leeds 3, Bristol City 0.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic. It's the exact reaction you want from a player who's been on the bench and come onto the pitch. But you set things up, Dan, in a training session, and it was absolutely perfect. Ball goes into midfield, you've got your full-backs getting in behind the back line of Bristol City. He's on the run, and first time he just looks up and he whips that ball to that far stick. It's so easy for Ramazani. He's just got to make good contact with it, and he knows he's scoring. It's absolutely superb, and it's all that Leeds United deserve tonight.
He's been starved of minutes, really, largely Ramazani. Last goal was in January against Sheffield Wednesday, but he couldn't miss. But he had to get himself in the right position not to miss, and his positional sense at that far post was outstanding.
Well, Dance, that's 92 goals Leeds United have got now, and every other accolade and every target they've reached. They've got a chance of 100 points next week against the Plymouth side, who are down and out, only still in the league because of goal difference, but it's about 14 or 15 goals they need. You just wonder whether Leeds United turn it on and the manager says to them, well, go and try and get 100 goals.
Well, the Leeds record is 98 goals for a season. That was back in 1927-28, so it's a little while ago.
Yeah. Who's to say that they can't do it? The firepower that they've got and the movement and the way they've approached this game.
Firpo now defending at the other end, having set up that third goal. Protects the ball from Sam Bell, works it down this near touchline to Solomon. Oh, he turned it infield and gave it straight to Jason Knight. Across to Scott Twine. Now McGuane in the centre of the Leeds half, as Bristol City desperately look for some sort of consolation from this game. Tanner will swing across him from the right hand side. Ampadu stoops to head clear for Leeds United. 6 minutes of normal time to play on TalkSport 2. Leeds 3, Bristol City 0. Down the left-hand side, Mehmeti finds Hayden Roberts, ball into the box looking for Twine, but before he thought he was going to get his foot on the ball, it was thumped clear away from him by Joe Roden. And then Bristol City keep possession on the left-hand side. It's worked infield to Jason Knight. Knight will give it back. We are going to see more changes, and Joshua Gilavogi, big centre-back's going to come on, and Matteo Joseph as well, for another bit of firepower for Leeds to add up front. But they've got some defending to do here. Roberts for Bristol City finds Bell with his back to goal at the edge of the D. Flicked out to the right-hand corner of the box, and Scott Twine. Twine's going to go for goal. That one's well over by about 3 or 4 yards for a Leeds United goal kick away to our right, and this should mean that the changes will be made before Carl Darlow gets the ball back into play. And it's going to be Brendan Aronson, who I think has won back the hearts of Leeds United fans after leaving in somewhat sour circumstances initially, but coming back to the club after a loan spell. I think his industry and his energy has got people back on side, and Autanaka comes off to allow Joseph to come on. So they've taken off a defensive midfielder and thrown on an extra forward. Yeah, they want more goals here, Mickey Gray, I reckon.
I was just having a look at how long was left after I came up with that statement of trying to get 100 goals, and there was 7 or 8 minutes. Who's to say that they're not going to get more goals tonight, Leeds United? I'm sure they would actually love to get 1 or 2 more. It's going to be difficult for them, but you're right, it just shows the strength of the squad, the players that they're bringing off the bench. Everybody wants to get involved, and look, they're going to go for it. They're going to keep going to try and get that 4th goal this evening. As I said before, what a target that is, to try and set yourself. Get 100 goals at the end of the season. 100 points, 100 goals. Not many sides in the Championship have done that.
Giavogi's come on, who, much like Bamford, is making his 16th substitute appearance in the Championship and hasn't started a game in the league this season. Normally a centre-back, but it looks to me like he's playing in Tanaka's position in front of the back 4. Receives it now and gives it back to Joe Rodon. Less than 4 minutes to play. Firpo for Leeds United. They're going to have a lap of honour at the end of the game here, and boy oh boy, nobody is going home. Nobody has left their seat. Might be a few Bristol City fans that have drifted back to the coaches, but the Leeds fans, not a bit of it. They're sticking around, Mickey, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to enjoy every single moment of it, and why not? And this is why supporters come to watch their team week in, week out. This is why players play football week in, week out, for moments like this. Successfully got themselves back into the Premier League last time out with a 6-0 thumping, and they just want to add to that. They want to keep this momentum going. It's brilliant.
36,310 inside Elland Road. Give it a few years and they'll be hoping the attendance is nearly 20,000 more than that.
Yeah.
With the plans being unveiled this afternoon online by Leeds United to expand Elland Road. Leeds trying to expand their midfield, and they work it through to Ramazani into the area, tucks it back to the penalty spot. Joseph can't get the shot on target. Given back to Bogle, floats the cross in, headed away by Dickey. Only as far as Giavogi, finds Gruev. Gruev into the box. Ramazani turns and shoots, and a good save low down at his near post by O'Leary. Keeps it down to 3-0 to Leeds United.
Oh, what a
could have, maybe should have been 4.
Yeah, you're right. Ramazani, I think he could have got his shot away again early. The ball through to him. He sees pace to get away from him. He got the chance to have the shot. Tries to chop it back onto his right foot. There's players waiting there just to pop the ball into the back of the net, but it needed to be better quality. It was Joseph who was just behind him a little bit, but again, movement from Leeds, excellent.
Sam Byram's going to be on as well, so Mickey Gray's going to... Oh, he's going to spit his dummy out here, Mickey Gray. Sam Byram's coming on.
I'm going home.
There's no Harry Gray. And the change has been made, and it's a straight swap. Junior Firpo is going to get a few minutes rest. Great setup for the 3rd goal tonight from Junior Firpo. And they will stand to applaud the number 3, and he's off, and Sam Byram will come on and get a few minutes in his place. Came back to Leeds United as a youth player here, then spent a long time at Norwich City.
You know, you're talking about, sorry, Dance, that Aronson move, you know, having to leave the club. I think that was down to FFP and stuff, wasn't it, with the club, and it just, the situation that Leeds United found themselves in. And I think it's great that he's been able to come back and prove what a very good player he is. And you're right, the reaction from the Leeds supporters to him has been excellent.
It is possible that you can work your way back into football supporters' affections. Think of Granit Xhaka at Arsenal all those years ago. Remember that red card against Crystal Palace?
Yeah, very much so.
I thought there was absolutely no way back for him there.
And the complaints at the end, you know, he's throwing his shirt, waving at the supporters.
All that.
Well, he got himself back in the good books, didn't he?
Eventually. We're at the Emirates tomorrow night. Adrian Durham hosting kick-off. Regular updates of Arsenal's Champions League semi-final first leg against Paris Saint-Germain. They did for PSG at the Emirates in the Giant League stage earlier in the season, but they're a different beast, I think, now, Paris Saint-Germain, certainly since the new year. So we're about to find out how much added time we've got here at Elland Road. The board goes up, an extra 4 minutes to play, but it's to that now. Leeds United in possession on halfway. 4 minutes on the board. Are they going to get 4 goals on the night? Well, they're away again down the right-hand side, Leeds, with Ramazani. Early cross into the box, looking for Bamford, but it's deflected behind by Hayden Roberts for a Leeds United corner, and Bristol City look knackered.
But they want the full-time whistle, don't they? I think everybody looked across at the fourth official there and saw 4 minutes go up, and the heads just dropped. They want to get off this pitch as quick as they possibly can and get on that M62 and start to drive home towards Bristol if they're going to take the coach. I believe they flew here today, actually, Dance. But look, it's not been their day. They've got one big opportunity next weekend, and it is a massive game now.
Preston will be their guests at Ashton Gate on the final day of the season. Leeds corner, flicked on by Bamford at the near post, almost works its way through to Byram, who coming at the near post. Bristol City clear. Bogle collects it on halfway. Again, the Leeds fans say shoot, which is a little ambitious, although O'Leary is slightly off his line. But even Mickey Gray wouldn't try it from that distance.
Good reach.
It goes to Solomon on the left-hand side, approaching the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Joseph tucks it back to Ampadu, and Rodon next to him. Sinclair Armstrong has barely had a kick since coming on as a substitute. Ball downfield bounces through to Max O'Leary. What have you spotted, Mickey?
Well, I'm just hearing the singing Daniel Farker's name, and we've had that conversation in the build-up to this game, Dance, and the appreciation's there. I think that's fantastic, I really do.
Someone get a camera on the executive boxes, see if they're applauding him.
Standing ovation as well. Everybody's getting on their feet. I think that's fantastic, I really do.
Huge appreciation for what Daniel Farker has done. He's on the verge of a third title success as a manager in the Championship. Brilliant effort. We played 2 minutes of the 4 being added on. Hayden Roberts coming forward for Bristol City, but Ramazzani back doing his defending. Sees it go out of play for a Robbins throw. And he's already having a little shake of the hands and a hug with Liam Manning, because I think Liam Manning's going to disappear down the tunnel pretty quick, sharp. Daniel Farker's still got his heavy coat on. He must be sweating cobs under there. It's not cold in tonight, is it, by any stretch?
It's not.
Bristol City have a chance with McGuane to drive the ball goalwards, and that's their first effort on target, which gets away from around us here at Elland Road, but it was straight at Carl Darlow, who made a very comfortable stop.
Yeah, some sarcastic cheers, I think, from the Leeds United supporters, wasn't there? But you're right, first shot on target, 92nd minute from Bristol City. My goodness, that is not good enough.
Leeds in possession with Gilavogi. Plays it out to the right-hand side, and Jaden Bogle. Gilavogi receives it again. Well, that's a poor touch, almost allowed Armstrong in. But instead, Gilavogi just clips it across to Joe Rodon. Now Ampadu just jogging to the midway point of his own half. The job is done for Leeds United. They don't need to exert themselves anymore, although Joseph was just making a great run through the inside left channel, but not used. And here's Grueff instead.
Still making those runs, Dance, aren't they? There's another one.
Well, Ramazzani's making a run through the middle, picked up by Grueff, brings it down and fires it back on him. What a brilliant fourth goal to set the seal on another magical night at Elland Road. The ball over the top, found Ramazzani darting in behind the Bristol City defence. It dropped over his left shoulder. He let it bounce and then drilled it low on the half volley past the helpless Max O'Leary. And that is the cherry on the icing on the championship cake for Leeds United. Leeds 4, Bristol City 0.
Superb, absolutely superb. The patience, you can see from back to front, waiting for those runs. And Ramazzani he takes a chance. He starts to make that run. I say if you make runs in this team, you will get picked out. The diagonal superb over the top. His first touch is outstanding, and the second one even better. Just fires it low, right into the bottom corner, gives O'Leary absolutely no chance. And I count that now 93 goals, Dance.
Dead right. The first touch with his right foot was sensational. It's been a sensational night for Leeds United. They go back to the top of the championship in style as they go goal crazy once again. 10 goals in their last 2 home fixtures, 4 here tonight against a Bristol City side whose destiny is still not sure. They can still make their way into the playoffs if they get the win against Preston at the weekend. But here tonight, Leeds United put them to the sword. Outanaka with the first goal as we approach the midway point of the half. That was the score at half-time, 1-0. Willie Gnonto fired home a second 10 minutes after the restart. And then 2 goals in the last 10 minutes from substitute Largi Ramazzani set the seal on another brilliant night for Daniel Farke, and that must have impressed those from the Leeds United ownership group who've travelled across to speak to him and wallow in these celebrations as the Leeds players prepare for their lap of honour at Elland Road. A night of celebration, a night where they've got themselves back to the top, and their title destiny is still very much in their own hands. Full time at Elland Road, Leeds United 4, Bristol City 0.
Well, Leeds United and their fans will be celebrating long into the night. They did it last Monday, why not do it again after their final home game? Willie Gnonto out in the middle of the pitch showing us his best moves. They're absolutely buzzing. They're 3 points away from the championship title now, Mickey. They got the job done in style tonight, really positive in that second half, and it felt like they were playing on cloud 9.
Well, Hugh, I have to say, from start to finish, it was a professional performance and it was absolutely fantastic. I think we've seen a gulf in quality from Leeds United to Bristol City, and we're talking about the top of the championship. That's how good you have to be to get promoted, and Bristol City are now sweating next weekend as to whether they're going to finish in one of those playoff positions. That's how big this difference was. It was absolutely superb from the home team today.
It's ridiculous in terms of what that result does for Bristol City. I said before the game, you don't want to lose 3 or 4-0. 4-0 defeat is exactly what Bristol City got. It means their goal difference is now +4, Mickey. It's exactly the same as Coventry's. Blackburn's is +5 at the moment. 67 points for Bristol City, who are 5th. 66 for Coventry in 6th. Millwall in 7th, and 65 points for Blackburn. They can still be caught by Middlesbrough, who have a goal difference of +10, who are on 64 points as well.
You're giving me a cold sweat thinking about all the ramifications ahead of Saturday lunchtime. I'm not going to be able to keep up with all of this. Madness.
I'm just highlighting, hopefully you've kept up with me in terms of how close things are for Bristol City, but also just how damaging that result could be.
I think that last sentence you've just given me there, Hugh, sums it up. It's the manner of the defeats from Bristol City against Luton Town and here today at Elland Road against Leeds United. They came here this evening to spoil a party. Well, they spoiled their own party because that was not good enough. The 92nd minute, your first shot on target, is really, really poor. And I know we want to try and big Liam Manning up for the job that he's done at Bristol City, but if you want your club to get into those playoff spots on the final day, you have to be better than that. I just hope that they've left something in the tank in front of their home supporters against Preston to put on a show, because if not, you just mentioned the sides behind them: Coventry, Millwall, Blackburn, Middlesbrough. They're waiting in bated breath to leapfrog them and go into those playoffs, but they just never got going tonight, Hugh. They really didn't. He didn't really change anything up. The first half was really poor. You think it couldn't get any worse. It was too easy for Leeds to get in behind and break them down, and at the end of the game, the final 15 minutes, Leeds made changes. They just freshened things up and they just took them to the sword.
I should just mention, Hugh, that they've put a promoted 2025 little podium on the pitch. Not a single Leeds fan has left to go home. They're all still here ready to celebrate, and the players will be out shortly to crack the champagne bottles. They're not going to receive a trophy here, of course they can't, because they're going to have to wait till Sunday, but they get to celebrate in front of their own fans ahead of the trip to Plymouth on Saturday, and that's going to go off in the next, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes when the players are ready.
They go to Plymouth, as you mentioned, to wrap up the title. Burnley will host playoff chasing Millwall on the final day. You'd expect Leeds to get the job done, especially on the evidence of tonight, Mickey.
Yeah, and as I said, Hugh, you know, it's crazy to think like this, but as a player and a manager, I talked about the goals that Leeds United got tonight, which takes them to 93. They've got a chance of 100 points. And the quality that they've got, Leeds United, they can go and play against Plymouth and they can score 7 goals. And that would be absolutely brilliant. They could have 100 goals, 100 points. And as I mentioned in commentary, there's not many sides have done that in the Championship, and it's something that doesn't get forgotten. And this Leeds side have got the quality to go and score 7 goals, so Plymouth have to be on their guard.
Daniel Farke got a standing ovation as well at the end of the game. Really important message sent to the hierarchy of Leeds United who were present inside Elland Road tonight. Not just the gratitude, I think, that goes towards the manager, thoroughly deserved in terms of what they've delivered this season. But we talk so much about momentum. It's not just momentum in terms of results. This is a football club that is together at this point in time, that are marching on together, that clearly are in a good place. Why would you want to disturb any of that?
Well, Hugh, me and Dance, we didn't tell you this before kick-off, but we had a secret camera in the TalkSport studios and we seen you stand up. So, contrary to what you said before kick-off, I think these Leeds United supporters really want Daniel Farke to be given the opportunity.
I think Hugh's right. There have been a few little murmurings of discontent at times, Hugh. I think the decision to stick with Ilan Mellier's goalkeeper for as long as he did, I think that did irk one or two.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he took the decision in the end to change things around and bring Carl Darlow in. Just one or two moments where, things have been questioned, but by and large, you can't argue, as Mickey says, with the fact that they're potentially going to score 100 goals this season and get 100 points. I mean, there's Birmingham City fans I know who are complaining about the way we've done this season. We've been unbeaten at home all campaign. Honestly, there are some people who are not happy unless they're unhappy.
Well, I think you look at Leeds United as a whole, Danson, as a squad, and Hugh as well, right? And you go, all right, okay, what's Leeds United's budget? Because a lot of clubs in the Championship, League 1 and League 2, they always say, they've got the biggest budget. They should go and just breeze the Championship. It's harder to do than that. You can go out and bring the best players in, but you've still got to make them all gel together and be a good footballing side. And of course, in periods this season, they've had a bit of a sticky patch. But they have got one of the biggest budgets. They have got one of the best squads, if not the best squad in the Championship. So they are where they are, and they should be top of the table with one game to go. But the manager has still got to put those players together and get the best out of them, and that's throughout the whole of the season, through 45 games. He pretty much has done that.
Dan, how does this football club sustain themselves for a tilt at the Premier League next season? That they have been far and away such good quality, the most entertaining team in the league on their day. They need to bring something different, of course, to the Premier League. They're not going to be able to play the same way. But what do they need to change to make sure we don't get another season where all three teams go back down and into the Championship once again?
I don't personally think, and this has been talked about a lot, after 30 odd years of the Premier League, 2 seasons in a row where the 3 promoted teams have gone back down does not a trend make, in my opinion. That would have to be sustained for 4 or 5 seasons before I think this is a serious problem. I think Leicester, Southampton definitely had issues coming into the Premier League. Ipswich not so much, and it didn't work out for them either. But with Leeds, I think the same as any team here that gets into the Premier League, look through the spine of your team and strengthen. Find a goalkeeper, centre-half, centre midfielder and centre forward, because what we've seen tonight, some of the lovely football we've seen on the flanks, Bogle's work down the right, Firpo on the left, Nonto, Solomon, and then Ramazzani coming on. Lots of lovely maverick skill out in the wide areas, but when you ally that with the tenacity of a Tanaka and a Gruev in midfield, maybe somebody else, you've got Ampadu and Rodon at the back, pretty solid. Another clean sheet here. Only Burnley have conceded fewer than Leeds. There's good signs here, Hugh. You don't stay ahead by standing still, of course you don't. So you've got to box clever and find the right people to add to what you've got. But with Daniel Farke saying, look, I only had £8 million to spend when I got Norwich into the Premier League, maybe now he gets the chance to flex his financial muscle as a manager in a way that he's not been able to before.
Would you agree, Mickey?
100%. I think Dance has hit the nail on the head, and when you look at this Leeds team, and we give them the plaudits throughout the season and in tonight's performance too, but goalkeeper is an issue. As well as Carl Darlow's done, I don't think you'd look at him and say Premier League goalkeeper. With the greatest respect, I look at Rodon and I look at Ampadu. Are they centre halves that you'd rely on week in, week out in the Premier League? Not in my eyes.
The scouting, there's nothing that wrong with the scouting when you pick up Al Tanaka for £3.5 million.
Exactly.
From Fortuna Düsseldorf. That's good scouting. And there's enough bad scouting around in football at the minute. I can't believe that Victor Gyökeres was under so many Premier League clubs' noses at Coventry and playing brilliantly, and then he goes to Sporting Lisbon. Oh, and then we suddenly discover Victor Gyökeres. How blind are some of these scouting systems? They don't know a thing. But you've got to credit managers, scouting teams, chief executives when they get it right, and with players like Tanaka, they've got it right. Now there's an announcement being made here, Hugh. They're about to welcome the Leeds United players back onto the pitch. As I mentioned, there's a plethora of bottles of champagne just resting on the turf next to a promoted 2025 plinth right next to the centre circle, and out come the players, starting with Carl Darlow and Ilan Meslier actually. Oh, that's a nice response for Meslier. And they're coming out in squad order. So after Ilan Meslier comes Jayden Bogle. Another excellent performance from him tonight. Junior Firpo, who set up the third goal tonight, he gets a round of applause. Ethan Ampadu, the skipper, the Welsh international, gets better and better every time I see him. Thought he was a defensive midfielder. He's making a proper go at centre half. Pascal Strike, who's not available at the moment through injury, he comes out the tunnel. He's full kit. He's full kit. He's not playing, but he's full kit. And Joe Roden, another Welsh centre half for Leeds United. He comes out the tunnel to get a round of applause. Dan James is here, another player unavailable. Wow, listen to that roar for another Welshman as part of this Leeds squad.
Got his kit on as well, Dan.
He has. They've had the memo, haven't they? They've all had the memo. Joe Rothwell on loan from Bournemouth, just struggling a little bit with injury, but he gets a round of applause as he comes out the tunnel. Patrick Bamford, who came on as a sub this afternoon. Well, look, he's not scored this season, but the Leeds fans don't care. He's still a hero for what he's done in the past for the club. The man who scored 4 goals against Stoke on Easter Monday, Joel Peru, didn't score tonight, but again he worked hard, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did, Dan. I think what's nice as well, I know the players are coming out very quick here, they're all going over and high-fiving the staff that they've got behind the scenes at Leeds United. Yeah, that's a lovely touch.
Brendan Aronson gets a round of applause. We mentioned the slight uncomfortable nature of his relationship with the fans when he left after relegation, but he's back and he gets a nice round of applause. Manor Solomon, surely they must try and keep him at Leeds United and try and do a deal with Tottenham Hotspur, because he's been tremendous all night. Don't forget to shake the hands of the staff, Manor. There you go, he's remembered. He's about to walk off and leave him hanging, but he's actually remembered. Laji Ramatani, 2-goal hero tonight, his first goal since January. He comes on for Leeds United, the young Belgian. Matteo Joseph, maybe not got the goals that we might have expected, Mickey, at the start of the season, but another important contribution.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he brings something different to Leeds. He's got that physical presence as well, hasn't he? And they're going to need that. They're going to need to change it up next season.
Alex Kearns, the third choice goalkeeper. He's got no gloves on. Doesn't need them really. He was on the bench tonight, but not needed. He's straight over to the staff to give him high fives. Next up is, well, listen to this. Ao Tanaka gets arguably the biggest cheer of all. Oh, well, listen to that.
I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it? You can imagine what this is doing for the players as well.
Everybody gets that little moment.
It's huge.
Joshua Giavogi, who came on as a substitute late on, he thunders out of the tunnel at full pelt. Followed by Sam Byram. He got a few minutes tonight as well. Back at Leeds United. Began here, went to West Ham. And came back here from Norwich City. The man who's been #1 goalkeeper for the last few weeks, Carl Darlow. He's next out the tunnel. There's not many left, don't worry. There's another, 6 players to come out of the tunnel before they can crack the champagne. Willie Nonto. Smashing goal that he scored tonight. How effective can he be back in the Premier League? We've seen him there before.
Yeah, he's a bit more experienced this time around, Dance, isn't he? I'm sure he'll be given his opportunity. Whether he's going to be an impact player off the bench or not is only down to him.
Isaac Schmidt is next up, coming out the tunnel. James De Bayo, part of the Leeds United Academy. And James De Beer's a bit slow coming out the tunnel. And that's why Max Wober's actually beaten him to it. There's no sign of James. Max Wober, again, an injured player at the back. Sam Chambers from the academy. He comes out to jog towards the staff and give him his appreciation. The Bulgarian Ilya Ruev, another important part of what's kept Leeds so tight at the back, protecting that back four. And again, you can hear the appreciation for him. And then the player that Mickey Gray was so desperate to see and was gutted not to, Harry Gray, who's got one of those yellow scarves that were on all the seats tied round his head.
There's you for you.
He's loving it though. He's
That's fantastic.
Absolutely lauding it. As well he might, Harry Gray. Out come the rest of the ancillary staff at Leeds United, and I'm sure Daniel Farke's going to get a moment as well. I'd be very surprised if he didn't. But all the staff are out there. The players have all massed behind that plinth by the centre circle. Some have got bottles of champagne, some have got little poppers to set little bits of pyrotechnics up into the air. Here comes the manager out the tunnel. Let's hear the cheer for Daniel Farke. A very, very likeable man. He's very easy to talk to from our perspective as broadcasters and journalists. Never ducks a question. Quite shy, I would say, in some respects, but gets the job done. And congratulations to him, Mickey.
And all the appreciation going to his staff, which is nice to see. And also, just for you, Dance, he's took his jacket off.
He has. Well, it was a bit, you know, I'm amazed he kept that on for as long as he did. So marching on together once again is pumped through the PA system. Farke goes to join his players at that little plinth next to the centre circle on the halfway line. And the scarves go up around us once more at this famous old football stadium that's about to get a bit of a makeover. We'll see what sort of makeover the Leeds squad get in the summer, but they're preparing to open the champagne, set the party poppers off and really get the party started in West Yorkshire. But I think they're going to let this song play out first before they get to that. I imagine this is one of the first things any Leeds player has to do when they arrive here. Bet you did learn the lyrics to this song, right, Mickey?
Absolutely. I think they get put under your door when you're in the hotel room on a Friday night. But it's fantastic. And I said in the build-up to this game, it was one of the reasons why I wanted to come to this football club, to witness this, what we're listening to now, because I'd been here as an away player for Sunderland and other clubs, but I wanted to wear that Leeds United shirt. When I got the opportunity, it did not let me down. It was absolutely phenomenal. And this club is a massive club. We talked about in a few years it could be 56,000. Look, they could sell that twice over. The support of this club is very, very special. They love their club. They travel up and down the country, whatever division they're in, they follow them everywhere for moments like this.
Think of the pain of last season when Leeds United lost the playoff final to Southampton, and the recovery that they had to sort out from there, but recovered they have, and that is why supporters should be relishing moments like this. These don't come along very often if you're a fan of a football club, or most football clubs, to celebrate promotion successes. And they're just waiting for one more cut. The players have just waited, can we open these bottles of champagne? I love the song, but I want to get these champagne open. And up go the party poppers, off goes the champagne, they douse each other with the champers, and Leeds United can officially celebrate in front of their own fans, being promoted to the Premier League for season 25-26 and maybe beyond, who knows. But Hugh, party time is well and truly underway here in West Yorkshire.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. It's fully well deserved. Excuse me, all those Leeds players now getting absolutely drenched, and Daniel Farke running for his life as he gets absolutely covered in it. All right for them to be celebrating tonight at Elland Road. They've done everything that they wanted to do coming into this season. They're heading to the Premier League and they are one win away from a 100-point haul and the championship title. Mickey Gray, Ian Dante, thank you very much for tonight. Much more live football coming for you on the TalkSport network. Wednesday night Champions League semi-final first leg, Barcelona against Inter Milan. That's on TalkSport. Thursday night here on TalkSport 2, Nottingham Forest against Brentford in the Premier League. TalkSport will carry Athletic Bilbao against Manchester United in the Europa League semi-final first leg. The TalkSport app has Spurs against Bodo Glimt in the same competition, and on Friday exclusively live on TalkSport, Manchester City against Wolves in the Premier League. Sports Bar about to get underway on TalkSport with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Leeds fans, Bristol City fans, get your calls in to reflect your mood tonight. 03717 223344. Coming up next here on TalkSport 2, it's the Women's Football Show with Leanne Sanderson. But Tanaka, Nonto, Ramazzani helped deliver 4 of the best for Leeds United, who are now one win away from lifting the championship title with a century of points. Bristol City must beat Preston to absolutely guarantee a playoff spot on the final day. It's finished Leeds United 4, Bristol City 0.
EFL Live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. There's nothing quite like a McDelivery. You in? 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Looking for specialist power tools? Then look no further than CEF Power Pro. Our next day delivery on over 3,000 products means you can get straight to work with top brands like Milwaukee, DeWalt and Makita. That's specialist tools for serious.
The scenes that you can only dream of, aren't they, here this evening?
Yes and no. We've still got one more objective. I said it after the last game. We're happy that we've achieved our first target. We're going to enjoy this, obviously, because now we're enjoying it with the fans. It's a main stadium, listen to the atmosphere. But there's still one more. As much as we're going to enjoy this, like I said, we've got one more, so we need to finish off.
You proved that with the performance this evening, didn't you? Intensity. You're at it right from the start.
Yeah, I said last time in the interview that for us, the last few weeks has been about building momentum and building consistency. And we've done that. It's worked. We've achieved our first target. Now we've got one more. You know, us and Burnley and us, we both want the same thing. So we're going to look forward to Saturday. We're going to give our everything to finish off right and finish off properly.
No place like this when it's like this, though, is it?
No, it's rocking. It's amazing. I was a little bit, didn't know how it was going to go, obviously, with the game, but as soon as we walked out before the game, the atmosphere, the energy, we understood it. And then as the game went on, we heard what the fans are like, and we had to go in, unfortunately, but we wanted to come straight back out and enjoy this. This is what the moments are made for.
Go off and enjoy. Well done.